show me all adventures I haven't seen. Taking all the life, it hits the spot. Walking on fantasy. So take me, baby, take me to a state of mind that's made of, baby, that's made of all that we find. Test the waters, oh, it's hot. I think we're getting close. Racing through the waves, I want to be where nobody knows. So take me, baby, take me to a state of mind that's made of, baby, that's made of all that we find.
Hey everyone, my name is Isaac, and welcome back to another Bloxburg speed build. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a mid-century modern house. Now I know I said I was going to release this on June 24th, but there had to be some delays because I needed proper time to make quality decisions. Now what I think this is a nice coalition of ideas. Particularly the idea of the inside. I think this is my strongest interior yet, and it's also my most unique. And it's probably also unique to the landscape of Bloxburg speed builds, because most of the time, from what I've seen, a lot of people like the typical, you have the aesthetic linen blush houses, or you have the more realistic builders, but they typically dip into color schemes that are very much neutral, much more faded colors, not a lot of vibrant colors. This is vibrant, however, to very much so a controversial level, because pretty much everyone I've showed the inside to, some of them love it and some of them hate it. So it's definitely interesting to see how this video will perform. Now I know that it's definitely not mainstream appeal, but at least to me and to this project, I think it's appropriate. I think this color scheme for the interior brings this house a lot of personality, style, and liveliness, most of all. And that's due to the fact that this house is naturally a dark house. I used flint for the main source of light, and I typically don't use flint because it is, in my opinion, to my taste, too dark. But we see builders like Lookout Has and my peers like the Real Oofer, they use flint lighting pretty casually, pretty often, at least I think they do. Well, I know Lookout Has does, but a lot of builders also use flint lighting. It gives the build a very calm look, very neutral, balanced. I get it. And that was my original intention for this house as well. Because when I started doing the original plan for this house, the original color scheme, I found it to be lackluster and just very underwhelming. I mean, it didn't look bad per se, but I just felt like it made the build very dull and not really attention grabbing, not really a place I want to be in. Because it's so dark already, I felt like it was just making it more dark because of how neutral the color scheme was. So then I looked up mid-century modern interiors because this house is based on mid-century modern architecture. I was also looking at a lot of Spanish architecture when I made this structure a year ago, so there is a little bit of influence from that, as you can see with the arched ceilings and some of the windows, but I wouldn't say the influence is that strong to label it a Spanish mid-century modern home, but it is there. Alright, and I think the ceiling in the kitchen and great room make those rooms stand out. Just gives it a lot of character. And that's why I added that, because, I mean, without that, I don't know what else I would put there besides a regular vaulted ceiling, and that would be boring. One would argue that it is sort of awkward to juxtapose these two elements together, and I agree. Because when you hear a house that has both gable roofs and arched ceilings, you might think that's a little weird and a bit of an odd combination, but I think it works well in this context. At least in this instance, both of them work together to provide this house with a retro feeling, and I think that also does well with the fact of the color scheme I decided to choose. This very vibrant, orangey yellow, but also mixing with green and blue. It's really that mid-century modern feel, but also kind of more traditional, I suppose, and yeah, it just gives it that really older aesthetic, especially reinforced by the lack of visibility of more modern devices like a really fancy gaming computer or maybe a high definition TV. But we don't have a TV in the great room. There is an old television in the master bedroom. The most up-to-date contemporary thing about this house, or I guess it's just one specific part of the house, and that would be one of the bedrooms, because it has an EPX computer, which is like, you know, basic RGB gaming computer. There is a laptop in the office, so it's not 100% like old school, but I do try to homage to that old school feeling with the boom boxes and the posters to Aerosmith and Pink Floyd, and the old computer, like the really old looking computer that's like behind the chair in the office. Yeah, that's the premise and execution there. While there might be some elements of this house that mix together very loosely, it may not be 100% homogeneous as maybe I felt like it should have been. I do think generally it still does work in the premise of this house, and I view this as probably one of my favorite projects I've done so far this season. I think it's just super colorful. It's technically simple, but also very detailed at the same time, which is also my vision for like my Bloxburg build. So I think this is a testament to that. While this has to be probably my best house so far of season 7, if you are not a fan of the hillside Scandinavian home I did back in December, the whole swerve idea, look, I do plan to revisit some form of that later on in the future, but I know some of y'all do want me to build more regular, usual, conventional type stuff like a suburban house or maybe even a high school. I do have a high school in the works, but that's a different story. This house though, let me talk about this house for a second. I've been rambling on too much about its concept. So it has 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, a pool, great room as you saw. One of the bedrooms is a kid/nursery room, and the other bedroom is just like a regular bedroom basically with a Pink Floyd poster, because you know, Pink Floyd. Now there are several benches and built-ins around the house that sort of play into that mid-century modern aesthetic, or that trope of like having a built-in bench somewhere, bookshelves, a lot of bookshelves actually, and that's seen in the living room, the great room, and this little reading nook I built here next to the courtyard in the front. That's sort of like a nice little sitting area. You may think that's sort of useless, but I don't know, I think it's kind of a cute place just to have. If you disagree, well then, okay. Typical stuff, dining room, a breakfast nook actually, and a kitchen, laundry room of course. Laundry room is probably the most underwhelming part of this home, but it's just a laundry room. I don't think it has to be that special, I would say. I mean, typically when it comes to the more fundamental, foundational, basic stuff, like utilities, parts of the home, of any house, I typically don't pay as much attention to that because, truth be told, it really is just a laundry room. It doesn't have to be like 100% in the theme of the house, or 100% like, you know, oh, it's great looking, you know. I think it's kind of a waste, to be honest. Though I do see on Instagram people building really aesthetically pleasing laundry rooms. Like, good for you, but I think with the cost of how much this house is, and because of its scope, that's not necessary. If I were to build a smaller home, then yes, I would pay more attention to the laundry room because it's a smaller house. Every aspect of it has to be very big, grand, in terms of just style and execution. I'm not talking about size. I'm talking about small homes here, okay? I mean, I know I said the bigger the better, like 2 years ago, but sometimes it's not, okay? And trust me, I know from experience, and I'll let you know what that means. But this house here, okay? This house, the circle windows. I know, another element of the house that probably might throw people off, because honestly, as of recently, I know I've been throwing a lot of people off. Maybe with my behavior as well, but also with this house in general is probably the more masses appealing, like appealing to most people type of project. Like a single basically, like, oh, it's more poppier, but it's more blander, it's more safer for people, right? But then you get to the rest of season 7, it's a little weirder. Like my first house, the Hillside Scandinavian, that one is a worm basically. The second one is just a really sharp Dorito. I know people didn't like that house, and I can see why. I mean, I still like it though. I think it's pretty cool, but I know it's not very appealing to everyone because it's quite a small house and the price is not justified for how small it is. So every time I do a budget build, it ends up not becoming a budget build. So that's kind of an issue I have. I think I can only build big projects. I mean, a lot of people do ask me for, I would say, mansions, but that's not me anymore. Like, someone asked me to do a modern mansion recently, and I said, well, look, I'm giving up modern mansions. Like, I think it's sort of a cool place for a Roblox game, but I'm not interested in modern mansions anymore just for the sake that it's just tasteless, boring to build, honestly. Because if I'm basically challenging myself every build this season. Like, what can I do different this time? What is something that is like distinct, but like actually distinct? You know, I mean, this one is the more boring build of the bunch, but still, color scheme is very polarizing to some people. Well, no, it's not to some, it is polarizing because some people don't like it, but some people do like it. So, sorry, I'm not using words correctly here. It's nearly 2 a.m. when I'm recording this. I'm not in the best mind state right now. And also, sorry if I sound weird. I'm sick, so I don't know. My throat feels sore, but like I don't feel sick. Like I feel fine. So I don't know. But sorry, I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying is, if I were to build another modern mansion, I would bore myself building it because I wouldn't really know what to do differently. I mean, I've already done it so many times, but people have already done so many modern mansions as well. It's like you can't really do anything new with a modern mansion. Like seriously, you can't, because it's a very specific style. And when you think of modern mansion, I mean, it's not even technically modern, but you know, there are some modern elements to it, I suppose. You know, it's more of a like a neo-modernism, more like a futuristic type of composition, I would say. Actually, like people combine a lot of futuristic or futurism ideas with like neo-modern, and that sort of becomes the modern mansion idea. You know, these glass boxes, this a lot of white. You know, like why is it gotta be white? You know, it's just too. In my opinion, it's too pretentious. Like, I feel like it's for pretentious people, alright? Because here's the thing. If you asked me 3 years ago what is my favorite style, I would have said modern, like, in that context. So, like, the modern mansions you're thinking of on Bloxburg, like, that's the type of style I would say, that's my favorite. But nowadays, it's like, I don't really know what my favorite is, to be honest, as of right now. I mean, I guess the closest answer might be mid-century modern, but as with the old feeling of some of those houses that play into that, you know, I just think it's too old feeling for me. Like, it's kind of icky. I don't know, it just feels like, at least some of the projects I've been looking up and studying, it's, I don't know, like aesthetically it looks nice, but at the same time I feel like I would be kind of uncomfortable with it because it's not like cozy, basically. You know, like it looks great, but is it cozy? I guess it just depends how you furnish it. But there's also some mid-century modern homes that kind of teeter on like the liminal space feeling, and it, like, I'm talking about the wood walls, but it's like wood panels, but like the whole room is wood panels. The floor is like this really thick carpet. It just gives it this haunted quality that I don't think I really, you know, mess with. I was about to curse here, but I'm trying to be family friendly again, so whatever. It's just not 100%. I mean, I guess I would have to custom make my own house, and it would probably borrow a lot of elements from a lot of different styles, which I know would typically not end up well. But you know, I'll keep it simple to like 2 or 3 styles. You know, more than that would make it really unfocused, cluttered, disorganized, and maybe just visually awful, you know. But you can only combine so many styles, you know what I'm saying? McMansions would be the biggest testament to why you shouldn't combine weird elements. But that's the thing, because the basis of McMansions are to build a really big suburban house, but just do whatever the hell you want with it in terms of the aesthetics and the styles, and maybe just little elements like the windows. Oh, what should we do with this archway here? Or, oh, you know, let's just add a chandelier, why not, you know? Or, oh, let's just add this fake balcony, these useless roofs and these useless windows, door, you know, just a lot of faux stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's McMansions. Have I built a McMansion? You could argue my traditional mansion, the one that has like 2 million views, that could technically be a McMansion, I guess. And also the Texas mansion. Okay, Texas is very famous for McMansions. And why did I build a Texas mansion? I don't know. I mean, like, if it was by choice, I don't know why, but it was for a client, so obviously, like, that's the motivation there. But the reason why I felt so unmotivated to build before was because I was doing it for people that wanted specific things. Now for season 7, my premise is to build at my own pace what I want, and I am still building for people, but they're allowing me to build whatever I want. So they don't care what it is, but they're open for me to use their plot. So I'm building for rich people, and I can build whatever I want. That's why I have so much projects that I can work on and I can release. Because people ask me all the time, Isaac, how do you get so much money? Look, in reality, it's not that I have much money, though this house may be kind of a contradiction to that, because this is my own plot. Like, I built this on my own on my own account. But listen, all right, here's the thing. You have to be very patient for me to work with you, though. So I know a lot of people are kind of impatient. I mean, think about this. This house took a year. Even the Texas mansion took a year. Okay, I started that in like January 2021, and the video was released like November of that same year. Like, that's 11 months of work. This house I started back in May of last year, and it's currently what, July? That's crazy, by the way. Like, it's July 2023. I swear to you, it was just like February. Okay, I literally I don't know what's happening with my time perception, but for me it's like same old. So like, of course my brain's gonna not register it as like a new pathway to make new memories. I've done all this before, so, but it still baffles me that it's already July 15th. So, you know, that's just what it is. I'm gonna be a senior this year, okay? I'm gonna be a senior in high school. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I'm happy, but I'm also excited, but I'm also sad. But I'm also like, okay, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of at a point where every day's the same. You know, the time is just relative. It's a concept, alright? Like, mentally, like, I'm still in like 2022, to be honest. I mean, well, okay, not fully, but like in terms of time, I am, alright? Like, I feel like it's 2022. But in terms of like mindset, like, okay, it's very different. My mindset changes like almost every day. That's just a part of growing up, you know. You gotta think about everything. I'm doing this voiceover for this long because some people said that they wanna, if speed builders really want people to watch their videos, you should probably talk for the whole video for them to, like, you know, have a reason to watch and listen. And okay, I get that. That's why I'm doing this now. Okay, I hope this voiceover has been somewhat interesting. Also, sorry if I sound kind of weird. I'm sick, I think. Like, I have a sore throat, or like my throat just kind of feels thin. I don't know. Like, it feels dry and thin. I don't know. So I can't tell if I'm talking higher or deeper than usual. I feel like it's kind of in weird in between stage. I mean, I listened to like old videos of myself talking. I feel like it's gotten ever so slightly deeper, but at the same time, like, depending who I talk to, my voice kind of gets higher pitched. So I don't know. Damn, I'm gonna be a senior. Man, I can't believe that, to be honest. That's crazy. Like, genuinely speaking from the heart here, like, I'm in disbelief that this much time has passed since 2020. Like, I know everyone has already said this before. I'm gonna say it again though, okay? Because I'm still in disbelief. I'm still in shock that it's 2023. That number is not cute, okay? That's an ugly number. To graduate, no diss to the class of 23, alright? It's just that it just doesn't sound like a pretty year. Okay, 23. Hey, when did you graduate? 2023. You're telling me you graduated in 23. 23, it's an odd number. 3 and 2 don't go together. Like, they're not like divisible by each other. Like, it's just like what the hell? 23, really? Like 24. Okay, like 2 and 4 go together. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is divisible by 2. Okay, it's a nice number. 24. It just has balance to it. You know what I'm saying? And 25, because 25 is also like a square number. So, like, you know, 5 times 5, and okay, why am I bringing math into this? I don't know, but 25 because it's like the middle of the decade, and I feel like for pretty much most decades, the middle of the year, like 5, like that's gonna be the good year. That sounds like a nice year. Like 2015. Alright, I wouldn't say that sounds as nice as 2016, because 2016 was a great year, okay? I mean, at least for me personally, there wasn't much that happened during that year that would make it arguable for like one of the best years of my life. But I don't know, that year was just so happy for me, and culturally speaking, I think like it was cool. Everything was cool back then. I don't know. And I would say that, what's it called? 16 is just a nice number too. I don't know, like I'm 16 years old. That sounds, you know, it sounds alright, but I'm turning 17. That sounds weird to me. I don't know. And also, for some reason, 7, even though it's just like a year up, it's just like by one number. You're a year older than 16, but 17 just sounds so much older than 16 for some reason, like in my mind. I don't know why, it just does. You know, like, you may be thinking, if you're older than like 20, you might be saying, okay, well, 16, 17, there's no difference there. Well, I mean, it depends on your mind state, but, or your perception on that, but, you know, generally speaking, I feel like you would be like, there's no difference, but I think there's a big difference. But that's because I'm turning 17, so I'm just over dramatic, and yeah, I mean, I'm emotional, so what, huh? You got a problem with that? Anyways, I don't know how long this video is going to be when I edit the video, so I think 24 minutes is enough. I'm not sure. Is that enough voiceover? Like, I'm just talking about random things at this point. I'm not even talking about the house anymore. But what else is there to talk about the house? You know what I'm saying? So, let me just say this. I hope you guys enjoy this house, because if it doesn't perform at least decently, I'm gonna cry. And I'm gonna retire, okay? You'll never hear from me again. And I'll probably start like another channel, and it's just gonna be like blush builds, blush aesthetic pink and linen type of houses. I'll show y'all idiots how to build a blush house properly, because y'all can't build houses properly. Okay, I am the alpha here. I am the king of making aesthetic builds. You don't know me, but I had a double life as an aesthetic Bloxburg YouTuber. I built houses for people, but I didn't post about them because I'm humble. But I'll show y'all how to build blush. Don't quote me on that, by the way, alright? Because I'm not gonna do that for real. And if I do that for real, I would not show my face in public ever again. Or I won't talk in public, actually, because they'll recognize my voice. But yeah. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know when the next one's gonna be. I don't know if the next one is going to be a high school or a house, because I know the high school will take a long time to do. I mean, it might get released around the 3-year anniversary of my previous high school, so that's just sort of like a symbolic thing. Maybe I should do that actually, but whatever. It sounds crazy that it would have came out 3 years ago by that time. And yeah, like, the next project probably is going to be a house. I don't know what house is going to be, to be honest. I don't really have an idea in mind. I do kind of want to touch a suburban house again, just to like give like my last final, this is the craftsman suburban thing, like the final vision of it all, the embodiment of of the skills I've been building these past 5 years of building Bloxburg houses. Release, final edition, the finale of that suburban era, or that the suburban Isaac built arc. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm not sure that's going to be the next house, but if I do come around to like wanting to build that, then it'll come around. But to be honest, I'm going to be really busy this school year, so this is probably my last house you'll see from me, or at least my last project of this year before 2024, honestly. So if I don't see you next time, or if I don't see you again this year, then you know, it's been good. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this house. Have a great day wherever you're watching from. I love you. Peace out.
you.